All right, so in the second half of the 49ers lost to the Rams, DeAndre Campbell, the veteran linebacker who they had signed to fill in for Dre Greenlaw while Dre was still recovering from his Achilles tear, simply quit on the team. And the 49ers are irate. Kyle Shanahan first revealed what happened with DeAndre Campbell, and I don't think I've ever seen Shanahan more incensed than he was. And then guys like George Kittle, who is always positive, always good-spirited in front of the media, he did not hide his frustration with DeAndre Campbell. Kittle agreed with Charvarius Ward, who said that Campbell will probably get cut soon. He said, quote, this is from George, "It's one person who just decided not to play for his teammates. It's more of one person making a selfish decision, and I'm with Mooney on that. I've never been around anybody that's ever done that, and I hope I'm never around anybody else that does that again," end quote. Charvarius Ward said it was sucker stuff, in my opinion, and he said that DeAndre Campbell will probably get cut soon. We'll play video of all these reactions, and a lot of 49ers are tweeting about it now. John Feliciano, who's trying hard to come back from knee surgery, said, "Crazy, I do unspeakable things to be able to play." Think about this, like Christian McCaffrey fought back, working his rehab alongside John Feliciano. Charvarius Ward overcame personal tragedy to get back on the field, and I actually thought that he did some good stuff today for the 49ers in this game. So many players. Fred Warner in the linebacker room with DeAndre Campbell's playing through a broken ankle, and then you had Campbell upset. I guess we're not going to hear from DeAndre Campbell on this, at least through press conferences, unless he takes to social media. But you have Campbell upset that Dre Greenlaw took his spot, and then Greenlaw dinged up his knee. It was a precaution. They didn't want to put Greenlaw back in the game. So he didn't want to go back in the game after that. It's the most selfish move that you can imagine. And you don't see this happening in professional sports hardly ever, because DeAndre Campbell, the 49ers, signed him to a contract worth almost $5 million. Like, imagine just walking out on a job where your contract is worth almost $5 million for the season. And it was obvious when Campbell signed that this was the job description. It was be the linebacker 2 to Fred Warner. When Dre Greenlaw comes back, Greenlaw's obviously going to have his job back. It is worth noting that Campbell was not the 49ers' first choice. Eric Kendricks, the veteran, formerly of the Vikings, was their first choice. He agreed to terms of the 49ers back in March. And then Kendricks, before signing a contract, decided to change his mind. He went to the Dallas Cowboys instead. So the 49ers went to Campbell. Kyle Shanahan knew Campbell back from Atlanta. It turns out that in Campbell's previous stops, that he's burned some bridges after. He didn't tweet this until after he had signed with the 49ers, but there was a tweet storm from DeAndre Campbell a couple days after he signed with the 49ers saying that the Packers didn't use him right over his time there. He was an all-pro a couple years ago. Obviously, his play had slid downhill. That's why the 49ers were able to get him at under $5 million. But that's no small chunk of change. And just in the big picture, the 49ers suffered a devastating loss today. But, this right here, it crossed the line of all decorum in the locker room. The 49ers pride themselves on still, despite having a tough season, going through the torture this season, on having a sense of loyalty, culture. Deommodore Lenoir said that he'll never quit in his tweet. I read John Feliciano's tweet. I'm sure there'll be more tweets to come. Disappointment from so many players in the 49ers locker room, and we heard it just said so overtly from George Kittle and from Charvarius Ward. So this is, if you're the 49ers, I'm not surprised that Kyle Shanahan is as upset as he's ever been. Absolutely crazy stuff. Wheels for the 49ers came off offensively, I thought, this game. Defensively, they needed healthy linebackers because Dre Greenlaw was never expected to play 100% of the snaps today, and then he started having injuries. D. Winters obviously was struggling to stay healthy. They had put Demetrius Flanagan-Foles, who's coming off a knee injury of his own, into the game. Just brutal to be abandoned by a teammate. And it's even worse This is what takes the cake for the 49ers as far as how bad this was, that DeAndre Campbell just didn't say that he didn't want to play before the game. He left them out to dry over the course of the game. If you're suited up, the time to check yourself out, unless you're hurt, has passed. Anyway, you could take a look into the 49ers locker room and into the press conferences to hear just how upset they were.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to play today.
Play today?
Yep.
The coaching staff?
He did when I asked him why he didn't want to go in. So.
During the game or before?
No, that was in the third quarter.
I mean, he's a professional. He's been playing for a long time. I mean, if he didn't want to play, he shouldn't have dressed out. You know, he could have told him that before the game. So I feel like there was some sucker shit that he did. Definitely hurt the team because, you know, D went down, and we needed a linebacker, you know, and I think Flynn was banged up too. So for him to do that, that's some sucker stuff to me, in my opinion. Like, it's probably going to get cut soon, so, you know, it is what it is with that.
Not disbelief or disconnection, like, as a team. That is one person who just decided not to, play for his teammates, and I don't think that doesn't make our offense look at each other like, wow, man, we're falling apart. It's more of or like the defense, hey, we're falling apart. It's more of one person making like Mooney said, a selfish decision, and I'm with Mooney on that. And I've never been around anybody that's ever done that, and I hope I'm never around anybody that does that again.
You juxtapose that against what Dre did tonight. What was that like to watch?
Voice my own opinion in the moment, and now we're past that moment, so it doesn't matter what I wish I could have said or wish I could have done, but I don't like distractions on the sideline. I think that's ignorant, and I think it's just dumb. It's just stupid, and it's very immature, and I don't see how that's I just don't see how you can do something like that to your team.
George, you are one of the leaders on the team, and this isn't familiar territory. You guys haven't gotten used to losing. What do you want to see from this team as far as effort, energy, whatever, down the stretch, if indeed you guys are not going to the playoffs?
You know what? I'm just going to quote my safety, Huff. He broke the team down after the game, and he said that his mindset and his attitude will be 100% effort on every single day, every practice, every single rep, and he will fight until the wheels fall off, because he has been fighting his ass off to get back on the football field this year, and he has only gotten so many reps, and he's played really, really good football for us. And he said that he's just going to bring it, and he expects everybody around him to also bring in fiery energy, to bring the passion, no matter what circumstances are, no matter what percentage or no matter what odds have to happen for us to continue playing later this year. But we just have to focus on this one game.
Said that DeAndre Campbell essentially refused to come into the game. What's your reaction on that, and how did you see it go down?
To be honest, I was more focused on the game. We had a large road this week. That was to beat the Rams, and that's the only thing I was focused on.
Learning after the fact now, though, that a teammate didn't go in the game or however it went down, what's your reaction to that now? You've spent all season with him.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy situation. Kind of, frustrated that it went down like that, but, it's reality, and, we just got to keep moving forward.
Is it surprising to you to hear that or see that?
For sure.
He's a guy you've been playing next to all season, so what has he been like as a linebacker?
Yeah, good dude. Definitely helped me out, throughout this process, and kind of, taught me some things, and definitely appreciate it.
So he's been a good leader to you from the beginning.
For sure.
What are the challenges when you guys are changing your personnel so much, when guys are going down with injury and coming in and out?
You said how hard is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, hard. I think we got, football guys to, go out there and execute the plays that we get called, and, that's the main objective.
On a positive note, to have Dre back out there, what was that like?
It felt good. Pre-game, he was excited, getting all the guys riled up, and it was definitely a pleasure out there to, have him for sure.
You've seen him closer in practice, and then you got a close look at him today. Has he lost a step, or is he back right where he was? Yeah.
No, Dre didn't lose a step. This whole time he was telling us how he was going to go out there, execute every play that's called, and he just about did that. So I'm definitely grateful that he's back, and, definitely miss his play style.
At the end of the first half, Dre had 9 tackles. The next leading tackle was Fred with, I believe, 4.